And welcome. And today I want to talk to you about starting a yoga practice. So I know that can seem intimidating, and so I want to kind of help you along that path. So we'll start that today. And I'm sitting out here on this beautiful fall day. I'm in the Midwest, and it's actually really pretty, and leaves are falling, and we get some wind. And I wanted to point out that I think that fall is a great time to start a yoga practice, although really any time that you start a yoga practice is a good time. So even if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and going into spring, that's also a great time. Doesn't mean you have to wait till fall to start. But I wanted to kind of talk about fall for a minute, because fall is more of what we consider the grounding season, the earthy season, the letting go of things season. Just like the trees, the leaves are shed from the trees. It's letting go of something it no longer needs. And the same with us. This is a good season to really think about what no longer serves us and to let that go. And to maybe as a replacement to take on things that better serve us, such as a yoga practice. So I wanted to start out by talking about starting a home practice. A lot of these tips can also apply to if you're going to go out to a studio or whatever that might be. So it doesn't have to just be a home practice, although some of this first part will really be talking about home practice. So keep in mind you could apply this along the way, whether you're going to a studio or not. So starting a home practice specifically, I think it's really important to kind of set up a place in your home that will be where you like to do your yoga practice. That's where you do yoga. Now, this doesn't have to be a dedicated place. You may not have an extra room or a room that you can close the door or be completely, that may not be your situation. As an example, in my situation, my home that I live in is not very big. I live out in a lot of acreage, but the home itself is not very big. So I have to kind of take an area, and it's multi-purpose. It's used for more than one thing. And so I may have to rearrange a couple things here and there, but I have a place that I consistently go to do yoga. And along those same lines, I think it's important to gather together whatever props or whatever things you're going to need for your yoga practice and have those together in the same area, very near or where you're going to be doing your yoga practice. So let's say you're going to need a strap or a block or any of the options that we talked about, your yoga mat, maybe an eye covering, maybe a blanket, whatever you might need. Having all of that really easily accessible is going to help your practice because you're not going to be going around looking for this stuff. It'll be right there where you need it. So those are two big things about setting up a space. Find a place that you can do it and have your stuff close by at hand so that you easily can just lay down the mat and go. I think the next big thing that's important is to start small, start simple, and start with shorter sessions. So don't try to go into this with, I have to practice 5 days a week for an hour a day. That's a lot for anyone to take on, whether you're new to yoga or whether you've been doing yoga for a while. That can be hard with the lives that we live. So start small, start simple, and start shorter. So for example, 15, 20 minutes a day. You're going to get benefits from that 15, 20 minutes a day versus no minutes a day. So it's better to do at least 15, 20 minutes than to be like, well, I can't work in 45 minutes, so I won't do it at all today. So shoot for those shorter sessions, and you'll find you'll start to work up in your sessions as you go. You'll find that you want to spend longer on the mat. I mean, if you're like me, I love to be on my mat, so if I have the time, I'm going to be there longer. So that's important. So don't push yourself. Don't be like, I just remember that. Don't be all serious about it. Enjoy yourself along the way. And don't beat yourself up if you don't make it to the mat one day. Just go the next day. It's not the end of the world. Along those lines, I like to say I think another helpful tip would be to try different times of day to see what is best for you. Because what's going to keep you coming back to the mat is a practice that works for you. So try in the morning before you go to work or before you start your day and whatever you might be doing, or try the middle of the day. Maybe at your lunch break, if you work from home, or even if you have an office, maybe you can, you have a conference room, you could go do yoga, or pick a couple of your friends and say, let's go do some yoga. Maybe there's a studio you could go to, whatever. Or even do it in the evening time after work. Pick the time that works, or before bed. There's lots of options. Pick a time that works, or times. And I will say times because you may find that different times, different days work best for you. So maybe morning works great one day, and another day the evening works better. You know your schedule better than anybody else. So you have to go with what's best for you. And keeping that in mind, I'd also like to point out that I think it's important to find what resonates with you, meaning teachers, the yoga, the actual yoga practice itself. There are many different styles of yoga. There are many different teachers, different teaching styles of those different styles of yoga. So you have to find the teachers that resonate with you. And not all teachers will resonate with you. I may not be the teacher for you, and that's perfectly okay. I'm not going to take it personally, but there is the right teacher out there if I'm not that one. So go and find that one. Go and find more than one. Watch different classes by different teachers. Find what really aligns with you. I have several favorite teachers that I do classes with on a regular basis online that I just love. And there's others that for whatever reason they didn't resonate with me. They're great teachers. They just weren't for me. They're for other people though. So there's a yoga teacher out there for everybody, and there's probably multiple for everybody. So find what resonates with you, because that, along with trying different times of day and starting simple and, small and all those things, these are all things that are going to help you continue to come back to the mat. You want to make it as easy as possible to come back to your mat. So having things close by, teachers that you enjoy. If you don't like the teacher, don't continue taking those classes. Find another teacher. If it doesn't work for you in the morning, then don't do it in the morning. Pick a different time, because you're not going to want to come back if any of those factors aren't working for you. So that's really important. And as you go along, really notice how you feel and the benefits that you're getting from it, whether it is a 15, 20-minute practice or maybe longer. Notice if you're feeling less stress, less tension, you're feeling more open, you're feeling less reactive. My dog's out here hiking, so she might come in the video here. Yep, there she is. Come here, Jose. Want to come say hi? This is Josie the boxer, and she will be in some of my videos too as we go along, won't you? So she likes to come hiking with me. All right, Jose. So as I was saying, notice how you feel, and that will also keep you coming back to the mat, because you're going to start to notice maybe you're less reactive. Maybe you're calmer. Maybe all of these things, less stress. Maybe you have less tension in your back. I did a great session this morning, and I feel so much better. Yesterday, I hadn't been on my yoga mat for a while, and I really can feel the tension in myself. And so getting on the mat this morning and doing a longer session for me, I feel so much better. And I noticed that. So really notice that, because those are things that will bring you back to your mat over and over again, will help you develop that practice. Be kind and gentle with yourself. Don't push yourself. Don't get upset with yourself if you miss a day or two, or you miss a week, because life happens. Josie, come here. Sorry, she likes to get in the video. That's all part of life. Don't feel like, oh, well, I didn't do it on Monday, so now my week is shot. I'll wait till next Monday. No, you didn't do it on Monday. Then try again on Tuesday, or go for Wednesday. Don't beat yourself up. Just be gentle with yourself and be kind with yourself. Know that you are going to miss days, and that's okay. And there's going to be weeks that things are just too crazy and you just really can't get to the mat that week, and that's okay. You pick it back up. You come back to it when you're able to come back to it. And along those same lines, keep in mind that yoga is a very personal practice, and it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. It is for me and for a lot of people. So it's very personal. She's going to start digging here to find something. Excuse me. So it is a very personal practice. So you cannot compare yourself to others when you're doing this practice, because they have a different body than you have. They have different challenges in their life than you do. So never compare yourself to others. You only want to compare yourself to yourself. So look and see where you have been, where you were last week, where you were last month, where you were last year. That's the kind of things you're like, oh, wow, look at that. Or, you know what? I need to step it up a little bit, because I've been kind of letting my strength kind of wane a little bit, and I'm getting a little bit weaker in certain areas. And it's not beating yourself up, but it's just trying to improve yourself. So compare yourself to you, no one else. And remember, it is a practice. There is no finish line. There is no big prize of, oh, you got to this pose. Yay, you're done. You're good. Yoga is a lifelong journey, and it is a practice. And every day you come to the mat, remember that. It is a practice, and you will continue to practice. You'll get better at some poses, and some days you'll be really great at a pose, and other days you may not. And that's all part of the practice. So just remember that. It is a practice. And I would also, I did say be gentle and kind to yourself, but also challenge yourself a bit without overtaxing, without overdoing it, and without going, over the top. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to try new poses that maybe you've never done. Or we all have you'll find that you have favorite poses as you go along. I know I do. I have poses that I love and others that I don't love as much. And I'll find myself staying away from ones I don't like as much. But try to do some of those ones that you don't like as much to challenge yourself, to see how you feel in that pose. Challenge yourself strength-wise. Challenge yourself overall in your practice, because you're going to find that just has some great benefits. I mean, I'm able to do things that I couldn't do before because I finally said, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to just try to do it and see what happens. And because of that, I have now progressed in my practice. So you have to challenge yourself. You have to be kind and gentle. All of those go hand in hand. It's all about balance. Yoga is so about balance. And lastly, the most important tip that I can come up with is have fun. Don't take this so seriously. Don't feel like your downward dog has to be perfect. Don't think that, oh, my pose looks weird, so I should stop doing yoga. Have fun with it. It's a fun practice. It's enjoyable. It makes you feel good. It enriches your life. It extends your lifespan. It helps you age better. There's all of these great things about yoga. So have fun with it and just start where you are today, and just, maybe start with two. Here's an example. Start twice a week, 20 minutes a day. We all spend 20 minutes a day probably on some sort of social media. You know what? Cut that 20 minutes out twice a week and do yoga instead and see how you feel. Guarantee you're going to feel a lot better. Truly. So try that. And then next week, maybe you do 3 days a week, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever. Work it up to what you feel works best for you. So again, make it about you, what works best for you, and what fits your lifestyle and your time frames. So I hope all this information was helpful. And here's to starting to practice. Go out there and just get started. And you can get started by watching some of my beginner videos if you like, or find other teachers. They've got great, I'm sure, beginner yoga classes also. So whatever gets you started, whether it's me or another teacher, doesn't matter to me. Just get out there and get started. Have a great day. Happy fall.